stand here as a woman that represents 50% of your population. I come from a minority community, which is only probably 1.7% of the total 20% of the minority community. And I represent the backbone of this nation, the farming community, coming from the state of Punjab, which brought around the Green Revolution and fed the millions of hungry and needy people for the last 50 years of this country since its freedom. Sir, I would also like to say that this small community made the largest sacrifices for our freedom struggle. It may be a small community, but this brave community that fought the battle for the freedom struggle, where the highest number of people to reach Kala Pani was from Punjab, the highest number of hangings were of the Punjabis. It was on the borders of Punjab, really, that the division of the country took place. So the largest suffering and the largest bloodshed that took place to ensure this freedom was on the borders of Punjab. But, sir, I would like to go back to even beyond this. 350 years ago, sir, our ninth Guru, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, known as the Hind Ki Chadar, the only example in the world where an individual of one community walked all the way to Delhi to get martyred, to sacrifice himself to save a minority community, the Kashmiri Pandits of Kashmir. Sir, this example in itself is one of its kind, and I would say the basis, the very foundations of human rights, equality, freedom of religion was laid by our ninth Guru, who came here and martyred himself and sacrificed himself a few yards from here to ensure the religious freedom of the Kashmiri Muslims, and that laid down the foundations of where the entire democracy and the voice of the people stand. And after that, his grandsons, aged 9 and 7, were bricked alive, fighting for saving and living by their own religion for religious freedom. So, sir, first of all, I would like that this House should altogether unanimously give homage to our ninth Guru, the Hind Ki Chadar, who laid the foundations of democracy 350 years ago. And it would be befitting, sir, if this government would actually dedicate this old parliament as we shift to the new parliament to Hind Ki Chadar, so that the teachings of our ninth Guru may be followed in the times to come. Sir, in the same way, I would like to also say that I am the proud granddaughter of a grandfather, Sir Surjit Singh Majithia, who was a member of parliament from the first, second and third parliament here as defence minister. And after that, sir, I had the honour of being the daughter-in-law of Sir Prakash Singh Badal, who was in the 6th parliament here, and someone who walked on the ideals of our great gurus and for parliamentary democracy in true letter and spirit. More powers to the state and inclusiveness, sarbat ka bhala, as what our religion preaches, is what Sir Prakash Singh Badal's life was about, who led the first battle against emergency, which was the biggest dictatorship since Indian freedom. And he led the fight against emergency to lead the first morcha to court arrest. And for 19 months he spent in jail and was the last one to leave the jail during emergency, making this fight for democracy his personal fight, and his entire life was dedicated towards more powers to the state and strengthening the federal structure. Sir, today I also take this opportunity to salute both these men, and I would say that they have been a role model in inspiring what parliamentary democracy stands for. Sir, as a woman, I would definitely like to say that in my time of in the last years of what I have understood of Parliament, if there was one thing which I saw in my lifetime, which I never thought that I would even get a chance to voice in this House, was as a young 18-year-old who saw the murder of democracy, the murder of minorities, and the murder of religious freedom in 1984 when the genocide of the Sikhs took place. As an 18-year-old, I was a victim of this. My community was a victim. It is shocking that in a free and independent India, the state itself, the Congress government, would stoop down to killing an entire generation of Sikhs because of whatever reasons, what they may have thought. This is the Congress which attacked our holy shrines, which put in tanks and bullets into our Akal Takht Sahib, killed innocent people over there, and then murdered thousands of Sikhs. Sir, this state-sponsored genocide is unheard of in the history of our country. And if this government had ensured justice, which after 40 years we have still not got, if they had ensured justice, maybe bigger tragedies would not have happened. Sir, I also ask this government that before we finish and shut the doors of this parliament, this house needs to unanimously condemn the Sikh genocide. No, sir, very important, 2, 3 words. Unanimously condemn the 1984 Sikh genocide, which has not been done till date, and nor have they received justice till date. Sir, secondly, I would like to point out that women reservation bill must come in. Sir, in our first parliament, in the first Lok Sabha, sir, there were 46%, there were 24 women, sir, and today in the 17th parliament, there are only 78%.
Yes, madam, now please.
Sir, just 2 minutes, very important, 2, 3 points, sir. Sir, in the first election of our country, 46% women turnout, and now 67, even more than the men. How can women issues be addressed if there is not proper representation? I demand women reservation, sir.
Yes.
If it is not enough women, that is why it takes a Nirbhaya to bring in strong laws. That's why our women wrestlers who bring laurels to the country have to fight for months to get justice. And that is why a horrific Manipur incident of atrocity on a women, a no confidence motion has to come in to make this government speak. I think, sir, more women are needed in this parliament.
Thank you very much.
And sir, lastly, I would like to say, for the farmers which I represent, which feeds this entire nation, sir, it is time we stop making hollow promises about doubling farmer income. But it's time that we ensure that that farmer, I come from the state which has fed this nation. Sir, today the farmer has lost his water. His ground is contaminated. So he cannot feed his children. He cannot educate his children. He cannot have health benefits. Sir, 2 minutes. Sir, 2 minutes, sir.
No, please.
Sir,
no, please.
Sir,
please.
just one